दिक्पन्दसे मयिवितरदृष्टिं सकरुणाम् इति स्तोतुं वाञ्छन् कथयति भवानि त्वमिति यः तदैव त्वं तस्मै दिशसि निजसायुज्यपदवी मुकुन्द ब्रह्मेन्द्रस्फुटमकुट नीराजिततरा निक्पन्दसे मयिवितरदृष्टिं सकरुणाम् इति स्तोतुं वाञ्छन् कथयति भवानि त्वमिति यः స్వామిజీ ఈ కీర్తనలో చాలా విశేషాలు కనిపిస్తుంది. తెలుగు భజనే కదా, చాలా చక్కగా ఉంటుంది. చెప్పండి సార్, అర్థం చెప్పండి. తెలుగులో మామూలుగా చెప్పండి, తెలుగు భాషలో చెప్పండి, చదువు. నిన్ను ధ్యానించదను ఓయమ్మ, నన్ను కాపాడుము మాయమ్మ. స్పష్టంగా ఉంది కదా. నిన్ను ధ్యానించదను ఓయమ్మ, నన్ను కాపాడుము అంటే అర్థం ఏంటి? ఇంగ్లీష్లో చెప్పండి.
I will pray you, Amma, you please protect me.
ధ్యానించదను.
మీరు చెప్పండి, మా గ్రూప్ చెప్పండి.
There is a difference between the word dhyana and prarthana. Let us try to grasp the difference between the two. Dhyana is meditation or contemplation. Prarthana is prayer. In normal terms, we conclude that prarthana is prayer. But prarthana, again, it consists of two syntax. Pra-arthana. Pra is a grade. Arthana is prarthana is to seek. Seeking something great is called prarthana. Nidhyadinchadanu oyappa. Mother goddess, I contemplate upon you. Mamu kaapadamu. Please protect me. Mayamma. Which is the Pallava. Let's go next.
నీ పదములు కింద నాయద కొలనున రుచినని నీ పద నఖ రుచి వెన్నెలలై హృదయాంబరమున పర్విన. నీ పదములు కింద
మరలై.
Holy feet of the Mother Goddess become the lotus flowers.
కెందామర, కెంపు తామర. కెంపు stands for red. Tamara is lotus. So the red lotuses, which are nothing but the holy feet of Mother Goddess. నా యథా కొలనున విచ్చినవి.
So they blossomed in my heart.
Upamana, Upameya are the two words. This is also another beauty of the poetry, especially in the Indian languages emanating from Sanskrita. In this simile, there are two parts. One, the compare, and the second is the comparison. You draw comparison with an object. So whatever is compared with the comparison, that is the upamana upameya bhava. If there is a vast pond, there you can find some wonderful gracious lotuses. So what is the pond here? Na yada karo. My heart itself is the pond. Kendavara, what are the lotuses? That are your feet. So what does it imply? My heart should be as vast as a great pond. And the pond should also be clean and calm. If there is too much turbulence in the waters, you can't expect the lotus to bloom. And there are lotuses of several shades, but Swamiji here says
Right.
Kendavara, that Because red is traditionally is a symbol of love and affection. See the word raga, rakta, lohita, they stand for the color of the blood. Rakta, raga. These are all the words of which, when you say blood relatives, that means that simply that you have more affection towards them. So, when you contemplate on Mother Goddess, it is implied that she shows additional affection towards you. Because you might have many children, but whoever listens to the mother, and whoever comes first to the mother, and who has the affinity towards the mother, she becomes more close. It does not mean that she does not have affection towards the others. There is one sentence in the Yajurveda. It says that Smat Nayadishtha Hridyatamaha Nayadishtha Brahmano Bhavati. Nediya means the nearest. Even if you have 4 children who are staying at faraway lands and there is no one to even to attend to your call, normally where does the affection go? Whoever comes first, he will get the first preference. So, without your asking if I am contemplating on you, that means I should become the closest son or daughter to you. That is the purport. Na yada koranalo vichinavi. So, when I am contemplating upon you, you are naturally coming and staying with me. Where? In my mind. My yada kolano, the pond called my heart. So, I request you to come into my mind. That is the first chapter. Next.
నీ పద నఖరుచి వెన్నెలవై హృదయాంబరమున పరుగినై.
Okay, so there are several metaphors which are similes. So the second simile is coming, please.
So the radiation of light spreading from the nails of your foot are spreading in my heart like a kite and completely covering in my heart.
Ambara means space. Literally, the word sky is interpreted as the ambara, as the akasha. But what is akasha? Ether is not it's not an element. Avakasha, akasha. Scope for 2 elements to coexist. The scope for 2 elements to coexist. That scope of coexistence is akasha. So Hridayakasha means there is scope in my mind to accommodate you. If there is no scope in my mind to accommodate you, where will you come? Hridayam Baramana Parvinadi. Parvinadi means it has spread all over my mind. Hridaya Ambara. Earlier the Hridaya Yada Kolanu means a pond called the mind. Now the second metaphor is Hridaya Ambara. Hridaya Ambara is the second one. And here also the traditional comparison to the Hridaya is the Hridaya Dahara Kasha or Hridaya Kasha, both mean same. The Upanishad also, we have the Hridaya Kuhara. They all mean the same thing. The space in my mind. That's what is meant by this thing. When I have deep love and affection towards you, affinity towards you, naturally your feet are well entrenched in my heart. Then what would happen? Ni pada nakha ruchi. Nakha is the nails. Nail of my toes and of your toes. The radiance emitting from your toe nails is totally captivating the space in my heart. Once again repeat. The light emitting from the toe nails is captivating the entire space in my mind. That means in my heart I have none other than you. Ni pada nakha ruchi divyare. What has it become? It has become something like a jyoti, torch. So it's not just a small radiance. It's an effulgence, huge bright effulgence. It is totally illuminating the space in my mind. Na Hridayambaramana Parvirati. It has spread all over my mind. That's it.
Why is it toenails? Why is
See,
the
first
comparison?
you have to when you have sought the presence of Mother Goddess. First, see, Swami is coming by line. First, the feet of my mother are entrenched. So, because see, in the entire this thing, these are the toe nails are white in complexion. So the effulgence is also normally white in complexion. So as I said, these are metaphors. So whatever is, it should be comparable to each other. If I say a lotus means it should bloom. If I have different comparison, that will not gel with this comparison. So that is the reason. It has to go there.
Other thing maybe Swamiji at the beginning is the radiance of light from your toenail is enough to enlighten me. I don't need all your presence, just the small thing from
Sometimes there is something called the poetic justice. Poetic justice is another very important factor in any poetry. So that might not be exactly the same, but we have to take the purport of it, the essence of it.
స్వామీజీ భావించేది మనకు అర్థం కాదు అంటే
Thus, normally, that is the case with any poet. Now we are, Swamiji is a great Sadguru, no doubt about it. But the poet in him has made such magnificent transformation in the mind. It's a great contemplation. Enta goppa bhavana adi. So, you are just closing your eyes, and when you contemplate on Mother Goddess, she is just coming one by one, and your heart is it's something like a vast pond, and there it's not turbulent, and Mother Goddess has just set her foot, and then what happens? It is in the place of a red blossoming lotus. Then what is next? When the lotus blossoms, the receptacles in the center part of it, they give a bright light. The receptacles are brightest. So similarly, what Swamiji says, once she has set her foot, and the receptacles are something that they are comparable to the toenails. So they are white in nature, they are bright in nature. These are radiant in nature. So the radiance has slowly set out, and it is illuminating the entire space. So it's a just gradual enhancement of this scope.
So the moonlight generally open blossoms the lotus. So
No.
అట్లే
కలువలు విచ్చుకునేది
చంద్రుడు.
చంద్రుడి వల్ల, సూర్యకాంతి వల్ల.
నీ చిరునవ్వులు మల్లియలై నా ఎద తోటను రాలినది, నీ కను చూపులు దివ్యలై హృదయ గృహమున వెలిగినది.
నీ చిరునవ్వులు మల్లియలై. మల్లియ మీన్స్ జాస్మిన్. నీ చిరునవ్వులు. So this metaphor is complete. Now Swamiji proceeds to another set of comparison. Mother God has completely setting. Then what would happen? She smites. After coming, what would be the first reaction? A friendly smile. So what can that compare to? Because there are Kunda Kodumala are the buds of the jasmine. Traditionally, the teeth, which are in one order, they are compared to the buds of jasmine. Not only in beautiful women, everywhere it's compared. Kunda Kodumala. So, the moment Mother Goddess opens her mouth, that means the lips are being apart. Then the first sight would be of the teeth. Ee chirunavvulu malliyalai. So, what do they resemble? I have the sight of the jasmines. Na ila totala ralinadi. So what will happen? The light from the white teeth is also naturally it is resplendent. It is also it's also white. So what would happen? Then my mind becomes a garden. So these jasmines are falling in my garden. నీ కనుసూపులు దివ్యలై. దివ్య ఈజ్ అగైన్ ది టార్చ్. నా హృదయ గృహమున వెలిగినవి. సో హియర్ అగైన్ ఇట్స్ ది వైట్నెస్ స్టాండ్స్ ఫర్ ది ప్రకాశ ఆర్ ది ఇల్యూమినేషన్. దట్స్ వాట్ అగైన్ హ్యాపెనింగ్. నెక్స్ట్ ది థర్డ్ వన్.
నీ జ్యోతిస్సులు వెన్నువలై ఆహా నన్ను ముంచెత్తినవి, నీ భావనలే శ్రీ సచిదానందములై కుడివిప్పినవి.
ఆనందములై పురి విప్పినవి. What I have seen a peacock which is dancing in full full screen. If a peacock dance, how would that be? So whatever you contemplate, that comes to you, whether it is good or bad. So your thoughts should be always be centered on a pious, auspicious, beneficial, sacred object. That is the contemplation. See, that's the with that feeling in mind, Swami has started Ninu Dhyaninchada Noyamma. So if I concentrate on you, what should happen? Nee Jyotisadu Vendovalai Aha Adamunchettinavi. From top to toe. Wherever there is a possibility, I see the radiance from you, emanating from you, it is totally captivating me. That's what happened. Just for the sake of this illumination, I am concentrating on you, I am contemplating you. ఈ భావనలే సచ్చిదానందములై గురి విప్పినవి. ఆనందములై గురి విప్పినవి. They are flourishing, they are captivating, they are actually all over my mind. That is it's not actually physical illumination that's meant by here. Saundarya Lahari, it's such a wonderful thing. భవాని త్వందాసే మయి పితర దృష్టిం సకరుణాం ఇది స్తోత్రం వాచ్యం కథయతి భవానిత్వమితియ. But devotee wanted to pray to Mother Goddess. భవానిత్వం దాసే మయి పితర దృష్టిం సకరుణాం. Little meaning. Bhavani, O Mother Goddess, Bhavani. Dase mayi. I am your servant. In me, on me, Vitara Drishtim Sakaruna. Please shed your Sakaruna, passionate, compassionate sight on me. Please shed your compassionate sight on me. Let it be on me. I wanted to say this. I just wanted to say this. Bhavani Tvam Dase Mayi Vitara Drishtim Sakarunam. These are the 7 words. Even before uttering the seventh word, when I said Bhavani Tvam, you have just graced me. You have just graced me. How does it happen? It's not an ordinary grace. Mukunda Brahmendra Sphuta Makota Nirajana Padam. Immediately you have graced me such a great position, which is even impossible for Mahavishnu to attain. What does it mean? Bhavani Tvandase. సంస్కృత సాహిత్యంలో చాలా గొప్ప విషయాలు కొన్ని ఉన్నాయన్నమాట. భవానిత్వం అనే పదానికి ఓ భవాని నీవో అర్థం అన్నమాట. మరో రకంగా చెప్తే త్వం భవాని, భవాని భవావ భవామ. నేను అగుదునుగాక, నీవు నేను అగుదునుగాక. మొదటి 2 పదాలు మాత్రమే తీసుకుంటే భవానిత్వం దాసే మయి వితర దృష్టిం సకరుణాంలో భవానిత్వం అంటే ఓ భవాని నీవు అని అర్థం మామూలుగా. కానీ మరో రకంగా చెప్పినట్టయితే నేను నువ్వే అగుదునుగాక అని అర్థం అనమాట. మహావిష్ణువు శివుడి కంటే కూడా అద్భుతమైనటువంటి వారికి అలవి కాని పదం అంటే ఎలా వస్తుంది? ఆ శివశక్తుల యొక్క సంగమం, ఆ శక్తి స్వరూపం మన మీద తప్ప రాదనమాట. కాబట్టి అమ్మవారిని ధ్యానించినప్పుడు త్వంభవాని అంటే నువ్వే నేను అవ్వాలి, సచ్చిదానందం అనే పదానికి అర్థం అనమాట. కాబట్టి ఎప్పుడైతే అమ్మవారిని నిరంతరం ధ్యానం చేస్తూ ఉంటామో ఆవిడ యొక్క తేజస్సు మనంతా కూడా నింపేస్తుంది. కాబట్టి ఆనందములై పురి విప్పినవి. ఆ యొక్క భావన ఎక్కువై తీవ్రమై ధర్మరకైన న్యాయంగా పూర్తిగా అవి నా యొక్క మనస్సులంతటిని కూడా మార్చేస్తున్నాయి. ది గ్రేట్ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్మేషన్ దట్ ఈస్ హ్యాపెనింగ్. The intensity of my contemplation is leading to the transformation of the mind. Then I realize that I am none other than you. That is the Satchidananda. That is the meaning of this. Ninu dhyaninchadano janma, nanu kapadu mahima. This is the way we can decipher many bhajans. Swamiji gives subtlest meanings and there is poetic justice in it.